left. She was brutally assaulted. Okay, so this isn't a true crime channel. I'm not changing it up. I got the poll yesterday, and it said that you guys wanted to see more sit-down videos. So here we are. Honestly, if you're getting this recommended on your little suggested bar at the bottom of whatever YouTube video you're watching, it's probably because you like watching true crime. This has true crime in the title. It has true crime in the tags. Okay, so the YouTube gods are gonna be like, we need to put this down so they can watch more murder for 2 hours, which it isn't what it is. Yeah. Pretty wild when you think about it, right? That we can like share these stories so easily, and like I could say something like that in like the most calm voice ever. I'm like, so she was brutally mutilated 20 years ago, and they never found her body. Okay, I mean, hell, I'm a teenager, right? And I was born in 2009, and even then, like when I was growing up, I feel like true crime wasn't easily accessible, right? Because I think there's something to be said about how we've all grown desensitized to it. I mean, sure, like the Univision and that type of shit would have like true crime, like documentaries. I don't know how to explain it, but they would have it like once a week. But even then, it was like a very like rare thing. You know what I mean, but now it's like literally everywhere. Like you can't escape it. There's like subreddits for it. Okay, like unsolved mysteries, for example. It's just TikTok will have like these AI like true crime cases, and it's like so freaky. You'll be like, I am the murder of my mother microwaving me in the oven. And it's like the creepiest thing ever. Okay, and I'm saying this as like someone who used to be a really big like true crime junkie, right? I think that there's something wrong with people who watch it. Yeah. I mean, I'm like speaking from my experience, but when I was watching it, it was like something comforting about like hearing these totally fucked up crazy things, right? And I felt like I was a bit special for being able to tolerate like slightly more stuff than other people. And it's the way that I would listen to it like everywhere. I would listen to it on a school bus at the school lunch table because I had no friends. Literally, I would listen to it at night before I went to sleep, okay? And it felt like I was hurting myself mentally, but I was in control of it, you know what I mean? But I don't think I like stopped to realize how it made me anxious, which is the title of this video, how true crime made me anxious. So here we are, baby, okay? And I get it. I think some people are just made to do theatrics out of this type of shit, you know what I mean? Personally, I'm not one of those people. I really am like just not cut out for too much gore, particularly, so yeah. Here we go. We're going on to the next part of my script because I have like bullet points down because I'm gonna like ADHD and I didn't take Adderall today, so here we are. Okay. And I think that people are like, well, I was saying, I think people are built to tell these stories and make a show out of it, right? Because there's a natural curiosity. We're like fascinated by like fucked up things. I mean, if our car crashes, we're gonna be like, let's go over there and see it. I remember one time I was driving in the car with my dad, and we were like, we saw a car crash, and we like started like, we just stepped out of our car. We're like, interesting. You know what I mean? Like, no one was hurt, obviously, because we wouldn't have been doing that. But yeah, we crave I think also like the randomness of true crime, right? Where it's like, oh, it can happen to any one of us. And I think that makes it like slightly more intriguing for some people. It's like the dangerous aspect of it. Like, I know too much, you know what I mean? But then it gets weird, right? Because even though you're learning about like different ways people get murdered and ways to protect yourself, you get more anxious instead of being like reassured, you know what I mean, that these experiences can happen to anyone. I feel like there's like this lottery system to it, you know what I mean? It's like, oh my god, I could get murdered tomorrow and I could get like assaulted by 20 different men. Yeah. Like once we're consuming pain so much, it's like we're desensitized to it, which is like the obvious standpoint, but I think that people like actually develop like you can develop like generalized anxiety disorders off of true crime, and I'm saying this like honestly, right? It's just easy to get swept into the drama of it all, right? But it's not healthy, right? We're just distracting ourselves from like our own problems with other people's problems, and it's like a never-ending goop. Every time we like consume true crime, we're just like making us grieve every single time. Yeah, I mean, for these people that just like die like in these horrific ways, and it gets to the point where suffering like isn't real. Like you could attend so many funerals, and then you could be like, here I am again at Bobby's funeral, right? But here's where my main issue is I think people enjoy it a bit too much in a freaky way, right? And again, I'm saying this with the perspective of someone who stopped watching true crime for the betterment of my mental health, where I was super obsessed with them and it was just like crazy. Um, when I watch true crime personally, right, I'm saying like I started this like back in elementary school because my mom always had true crime in the background, so you know I picked up some habits from her. Obviously, right, I am my mother's daughter. I am my mother's daughter. I love you too. Okay, anywho, so I think even though like the true crime podcast ended, right? It genuinely like wouldn't leave my mind. Like I would be so fucked up for the rest of the day. I would watch like 3 in a singular day, and then I would still be thinking about this case, and I would like see like shadows in my room and shit because I was so mortified. And like you're saying like, oh, but you were an elementary schooler. Yeah, but I thought I had a tolerance, okay? And no one like could tell me otherwise because I thought I was like a big and tough little girl, right, for watching all this shit, right? And all of a sudden, I was just paranoid of everything. It was like some fucked up narrative that I was sucked into. Like, the more I consumed, the more I felt like something was off with the world. You know what I mean? Violent crimes happen to like, what, like 1 in 100,000 people, right? True crime makes it seem like it happens to like literally everyone and their mother. Like, you have at least one family member that's been murdered, you know what I mean? Don't quote me on those statistics, by the way. So, now we're going on to the true crime fandom. Next section of the video. Boom. Okay. You know what? They make it a bit too much their personality, okay? Like, I can handle all of this in one sitting. But you know what? That's scary. What do you mean you don't, like, feel bad immediately after? Like, you're just going around your day and you don't have, like, that ounce of guilt in you where it's like, oh my god, they murdered this poor little girl. Like, I don't understand it. If there's any true crime junkies who like watch and just go about their day, I want you to comment right fucking now. Because I need to understand how you're able to do that. I'm not calling you like sociopathic, but I low-key am at this point. Unfortunately, I'm gonna get like a barrage of like hate comments being like, you don't understand, you don't understand the contents. Okay. So yeah. I just don't think there's like an ethical way to consume this type of content in general though, right? Like, I think a lot of it's like, sure, you're talking about the victim for like 10 minutes, but it's a 2-hour video, yeah, I mean, like, how much could you really do? And how much do we really even know about the victim to be even consuming this content, yeah, I mean? We like how like the basic facts, like, oh, she liked volleyball, she liked swimming, then that's it, like, that's us honoring the victim. I don't think that's, like, fair enough, yeah, I mean. And even when we're shaming the killer, you're, like, still consuming someone's suffering. That's someone's pain. And we don't have to confront it ourselves because we don't know those people. And here's the big thing. These shows are making money off of it. There's, like, Patreons where it's, like, listen to the uncensored version. Like, what do you mean you want to, like, hear more details about how this person got, like, mutilated, you know what I mean? But I think it's like the normalization of it, it just like messes with everyone's head whether they like it or not, right? Because you don't even notice how you start perceiving the world differently after a while because it just happens very slowly, you know what I mean? The thing is, once you start seeing everything through the lens of like these cases from across the country, all over the world, it's too much for like one person to process. Okay, we were meant to like live in like tiny little communities as cavemen, like just listening to whatever happened like 20 feet away from us. We were not meant to be hearing about cases that happened in Korea, in fucking Canada. Okay, and I'm saying this as someone from the United States, and I used to really like Korean true crime cases. Stephanie Sue. We were not meant to be hearing all the horrific shit around the world. We were supposed to just hear about what was happening in our community to make sure that we were safe, right? And so then you just spiral, and you're stuck on this case, and you're like, this could happen to me, even though it happened in a completely different country where the laws are completely different, and jurisdictions are completely different, and oh my god, my killer's never gonna get any justice because this random Korean killer, he only got 5 years in prison, right? That was a really long rant. Second point I want to say, you notice how I've been saying she in all the instances of the victim? Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna take this little feminist lens on here. Okay, as a woman, it hits a bit differently watching true crime. I think that's why women are the main consumers of true crime. Okay? Because, like, statistically, I think we're all aware that we're more likely to be the victims of, like, some sexual assault or, like, some fucking murder, right? From, like, some creepy 90-year-old man. right? And that's not a secret. That's like common knowledge, right? It's like ingrained from us from the minute we were growing up. Like, oh, be safe, keep a pepper spray on you, whatever. Yeah, I mean, we're taught to be cautious, to look over our shoulder, be hyper aware of like whoever we're talking to. We can't trust anyone. Yeah, I mean. And when we watch these true crime cases, it feels like we're just searching for answers and reassurance that, like, hey, if I die, it has nothing to do with me. You know what I mean? And I can get how that can be comforting to some people, but, like, there's still the issue that you're, like, using someone else's pain for your own comfort. Yeah, I mean? Which is really weird. You're just not... How do I say it? You're just reinforcing your fears even more, which are valid, but you're doing it to a point where you're like missing out on life and you're not understanding them. You know what I mean? You're just turning it into like this scary boogeyman. And yeah, I get it. I understand the true crime comfort thing. I was really big on true crime. You know, those makeup gurus who like pout their face and they're like, oh, she got murdered. Yeah, I mean, these things like fucking suck. But like watching something horrible happen to someone else just to feel slightly better about the chances of your survival is really fucked up. And you're just letting that person play out as entertainment. So yeah, that's the story of how true crime made me anxious. That's my little rant for today. At the end of the day, you know, the more we try to detach from it, the more by watching this type of stuff, the more we're like getting used to it, you know what I mean? And just consuming the pain. We're still a part of a system that capitalizes on our tragedy. I mean, that is capitalism in the United States. Yeah, I mean, we capitalize on everything. And I think when we step back and think about it, we have to ask ourselves, are we truly okay with that? Are we truly okay with just like being subconsciously afraid of everything because we just want to watch our like hour-long true crime video while sipping our Starbucks? Is that really worth it? Because at the end of the day, we're all suffering as humans, but some people are suffering a hell lot more. And do we really want to contribute to that suffering? So yeah, that's the end of the video. Also, this mic isn't real. I don't know what the fuck this is.